Hey everybody, it's your girl, Charlotte Van Horn. Black Expats in Panama. BEIP Tours. Listen, I am walking and talking with you today. You know what? I just love y'all so much. That's it. When I say I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's the truth. You understand? Because you encourage my heart so. I just don't realize how much you guys enjoy the Walking and Talking with You series. And so I'm back from Ghana for the second time. Excuse me, in a month. It was an amazing tour, two tours. And I'm going to go ahead and make a few announcements before I get into that. Okay. Listen, Black Expats in Panama is going dark for December. We do not have any events besides our tours in December. So there's no Welcome Wednesday, no cafe and conversation, no business to business. They're all going to resume in January, okay? So I definitely wanted to get that out there. Also wanted to get out that there is a coming soon flyer available for our Ghana Experience 3, which is going to be in October of 2026. I will be releasing the details shortly, so stay tuned, because unlike Ghana 1 and Ghana 2, I can't do that back to back because I'm already booked for November of 2026 to go to South Africa. So that one is out and more than 50% sold. So if you all are interested in going on the South Africa experience with me in November of 2026, you need to go ahead and lock in today, and lock in early, because that makes it easier for us to afford these more exotic tours, okay? Of course, I'll be in Brazil, April 2026. I still have like 2 tickets left for that one. In case you want to hop on at the last minute, that's going to be great. We just had our first info session about that tour. And of course, we are doing the cultural relocation tours now in Medellin. We have our second Black Expats in Medellin tour. That's going to be happening on December 10th. And then our next one is in February, and we have one more scheduled for May. So for more information on any of this, the best place to find information and to keep up to date with us is blackexpatsinpanama.net. So there you are. There's all the information that I wanted to share with you about, logistics. Now, Ghana, let's get into it. Okay, so here we go. Let's just start with the travel. Travel to Ghana is it's a little bit more complex than some other places that you might go in Africa. For example, in Ghana, yellow fever was required. There's a very, very, very strong recommendation for malaria medication. Um, while you're there, you have to have a special visa. So there was a lot of moving parts for Ghana just in order to get ready for the plane. The plane. The plane. My flight was like 10 hours to Amsterdam. Yeah, like 10 hours to Amsterdam from Panama, and then like 6 hours from Amsterdam to Accra. And I think some people did it in a shorter time, but I preferred not to cross through the U.S. And of course, I waited until kind of late to get my tickets anyway. But also, I went business class. Business class was kind of expensive, literally like $5,000 a seat. Okay. However, it was kind of expensive anyway. I think people paid, I don't know, I'd say probably a low rate was probably maybe 2,000. Um, but that's a long ride, y'all. That's a long ride. You're talking like major layovers. Just the hours difference, because I think it was like 5 hours difference between Accra and Panama. So I had to consider all of that. This bag's heavy again. Okay. So I just said, that's what I went. But it was like a whole cubicle. You know what I'm saying? The seat had massage. Um, they fed me so much. The food was delicious. Oh my goodness. The the seat was a total recline. It was like you were in bed. It was just amazing. So and the little cubicle even has a little door on it. So it's like you close your door at the end of the night so that nobody in the hallway disturbs you. So that was kind of just the first part, getting to Ghana. Once we got there, like I was saying, one thing that somebody said was they were glad that they didn't tear that dungeon down. Because if they tear buenas, because if they tore the dungeon down, it would just be one less artifact of proof. There were two dungeons. I think the first one is called Elmina, and that one was kind of reconfigured to be a dungeon. But some people call them castles, but I just think that's just too dignified and glorified a term to use for a dungeon, where they did these atrocities to our people. Okay. But there were two. So it was the Elmina, I believe, and then the other one is the Cape Coast dungeon. And the Cape Coast dungeon, people were saying, you got to go to that one because feces is still on the floor and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, I kind of had an kind of imagination of that, but not really. I'm gonna see. I'm pretty sure I have a picture of it. I'm gonna send a picture. But here's the deal. Archaeologists went to excavate this particular dungeon. Okay, specs. Hey, Lord, I be forgetting I'm walking sometime. And realized that the dungeon floor, or what seemed to be the dungeon floor, was actually like, oh my gosh, y'all, I don't want to exaggerate. Just looking at it, it looks like it was a layer of buenas, gracias, okay, igualmente. Um, Listen, it was a layer of probably, I don't know, y'all, maybe 8 to 10 inches, maybe, of feces. So to prove it, they left a part of that floor there and they have it roofed off. Just to think about being in a dark space, you know, no food, um, menstruating, no access to toilets or anything. Um, Humans on top of each other. On one point, I'm gonna go have a seat under the shade. One point, it was like one of the tour guides said, let's just be glad that we're telling the stories and that these walls and these trees can't cry out and tell the story for our ancestors because we probably wouldn't even be able to handle it. Okay? As hard as it is just to handle the parts that we know. Um, it's really rough, really rough. And so there was just, lots of inches and everything like that. Going down to the Slave River, I am, I'm a scary cat. Okay. I'm a scary cat, y'all. And going down to the Slave River, like I told you, I took off my shoes this time and it was a totally different experience. I am going to recommend a couple of things when we go again, that if you can take off your shoes, to take off your shoes. the brother said, like, why would you come this far and not put your feet on the earth where your ancestors walked? And, and talking about how the earth is really what grounds you. And oh my goodness, what a difference. And the other thing about walking down to the Slave River is that, you know, we have to be mindful that it's not a tour. It's not a tour. It's not an excursion. It's an experience. And, we don't really need to be asking questions during that time. Everybody just kind of in their own thoughts. We need to make sure that we give people plenty of time to process whatever they're processing. Like I said, I put money in the river. Um, and I'm a scary cat. Getting back to that, I'm a scary cat. But when I was walking down that path in the woods to what was the last bath um, for many of our ancestors, you know, ordinarily I would have been kind of a little bit shook by all of the sounds around me, all of the, it's just, oh my God, the birds in Africa is like, you think they're loud and have a lot of melodies here in Panama. It's like a whole nother level in Africa. And we're in the woods, okay? So we're in the woods and I just, I was hearing things in the bushes, like on the side, hearing a lot of strange noises, and I refused. I refused to allow myself to be distracted and scared over some noises and some things that would probably not hurt me anyway. And I just got this amazing strength and fearlessness come over me because at that very moment you're thinking about what you're doing. And what you're doing is you are walking in the footsteps of people who nobody cared if they were scared. Nobody cared if they were hurt. Nobody cared that the women were on their periods. Nobody cared that it was dark. Nobody cared that it was raining. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. And I just could not see myself getting all tripped out over some sounds because I could feel, I can't say I could feel it. I can't even imagine what the fear that they went through must have been like. I think about all the things that we're afraid of, and I am told that it is actually known. It is genetic. I just believe that our ancestors have gone through so much, especially the ones that crossed transatlantic, right? We've gone through so much fear, not knowing what was going to happen next, that I believe it's been transferred to us because we're not adventurous for the most part at all. I just felt all that going there. And yeah, that was walking down to the river. I would say I'm probably going to have to do a few walking and talking with you to really get into it because there's so much to unpack here. And I don't believe that some of it I'm still processing. The first thing was like the ride to the Slave River. We went to the Slave River and the dungeon were not too far apart. But the ride there, they have this road that they are constructing, and that they just took out like 20 miles, feel like, of the road at one time, and it is a ride. But when you consider that I elected for us to take that ride, that long ride, it was over 3 hours, closer to 4. But you know what? It was comfortable. We have good people on our tours. We had a very good driver. And here's the thing. Some people elect to do all that and then spend the night out there. Well, I've been told that, it's kind of harder to find the 4 and 5 star hotels out that way. And just really being on these trips, guys, and having to pack and unpack and pack and unpack and pack and unpack is stressful. And that's just kind of more than I wanted to do. So when you consider that our ancestors had to walk 7 months, 6 to 7 months to get to this slave river, a few bumps in the road, or a lot of bumps in the road, they call it an African massage, was a small price to pay for us to get there. Okay, so the first time that we went, Ghana experience 1, Alfredo was with me. This time I was by myself. So that in and of itself was a different experience, because I think when you're experiencing it with someone else, it's always going to be a different experience. But I know when Alfredo and I were there the first time at the Slave River, a butterfly came to our feet. And Maricopa, I think I had that, Mariposa or Maricopa, it's the Spanish word for butterflies, very significant to Panama. And I thought, wow, that's probably your ancestors. And it was blue and beige and black. And it came, it sat with us for a second, and then it left. But guess who else saw that butterfly? His first cousin, whose ancestors are also, or mother and father were also Panamanian. And if you're not a spiritual person, then you probably miss a lot on this tour, because it's very spiritual, very, very, very spiritual. And I think that everybody experiences it in a way that only they can. Leaving there, going to the dungeons, that's a whole nother experience, and I'll have to take more time and share that with y'all. But I think I'll save a lot of the dungeons for next video. I think I've had enough today. But the dungeons were, the most amazing thing is that there was a church right on top. And the things that we do in the name of the Lord, y'all, wow. The other thing that somebody brought up that I hadn't really thought of, but of course it's true. We know what happened to the women, and we got some stories on what happened to the women, because there were some of us who fought back, and if we fought back, we were punished severely. But guess what? I'm sure that the same thing happened to men. So the men may have been taken off, and maybe not it happened in front of everybody, but come on now, people are people and always have been people. And I bet you that men were, you got to be careful the words you use on YouTube, but you know what I mean, abused in the most atrocious ways, okay? And, but anyway, so it was a lot. It was something that I pray all of us get to experience at least once. Other parts of Africa are different in different ways. Looking forward to experiencing South Africa in November. Totally different experience from Ghana. But something, Jay and I were talking about it this morning. Ghana is there is a feeling there. There's something special about Ghana. And something special about different areas that you go to. But I feel like having Ghana be the foundation of your exploratory missions to the continent is probably a good idea. Remind me to tell y'all about the Diaspora Africa Forum, okay? They are a group, an organization in Accra who help black people in the diaspora to get a citizenship in Panama. They've helped over, I'm sorry, not Panama, Ghana. They've helped over 1,000. I'm going to be bringing you some more information about them. Amazing folks. I really, really enjoyed meeting them. And they really just rolled out the red carpet for Alfredo and I. And we're like family already. And I don't think you should go to Accra without checking them out. Okay, so I'll leave their information for you. So aside from that, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to go. Listen, happy Monday, y'all. Have a blessed week. Tomorrow starts the blackout. Tomorrow starts the blackout. And I am putting together a little something to show ways that we, expats in other parts of the world can support that. So look out for that. I'm going to have that posted shortly. Thank you all very much for, there's so many things that's been happening, guys. And it's like, I was just telling Karen, I said, I got to stop and celebrate some of this stuff. Listen, we hit over 12,000 in the Black Expats in Panama Facebook group. A couple of weeks ago, we hit over 7,000 subscribers to YouTube. And I just want to say thank you. And I don't even want to celebrate for us. I just want to celebrate and thank you for following and being so supportive and everything. And I appreciate it. The tours are like, wow. Okay, literally wow. If you've gone on to blackexpatsinpanama.net and tried to book a tour, you probably see like straight through March. Keep watching though, because when people, we're sold out, but when people change to another date, sometimes I'll let people do that when they change to another date, or if they have to cancel for any reason, their space goes back into inventory. So, let us know when you want to be on a wait list, and let us know when, and go back and check periodically. But our cultural Caribbean Day tours are like sold out. It is just like bananas. People are already buying the February and May tours for Medellin. We're back in Medellin on December 10th. We have so much to celebrate and so much to be grateful for. And I don't know. I don't know what else to say. All I know is this. I love you. I love you. I love you. Honest to God, honest to goodness, I love you. And there's just absolutely nothing you can do about it. You got that? You understand the words that is coming out of my mouth? All right, guys, love you. Make it a great day and a better week. Thank you.
Rose to the bottom of the lines. The waist to break this height. Break the height like this. The entire bricks was covered.
Oh,
But
wow.
1974, University of Ghana came to do excavation here before they found the original bricks. That was when they back there.
Oh my God.
These archaeological labels. So many died. Those who died were thrown into the sea. Black people were not buried. No. They cleared all the waste then, but they left a portion which is around here, it's at the back here. So can you just come back a bit to this side? I'll be moving you up and down, not with mystery, but relax. It's part of the job. So let's look inside the fence. There is something here like this square. Look at it. This is not the same like the dirty bricks. This is an accumulation of toilets.
It's a layer.
A layer of toilet.
So they left the layer.
We have fenced it so that generations to come and see.
Oh my.
This is from ancestors. So we finished the first one. Let's move this way. Watch your steps.